An unexpected piece of information has rocked the global K-pop community. Without any prior warning from the agency, and before the media could craft a concrete narrative, Jimin, one of the most charismatic members of BTS, was said to have leaked internal information regarding Jungkook. It wasn't about a new song or a concert, but rather about Jungkook's presence at a world-class fashion event, the Calvin Klein fashion show in the United States. What made everything more surprising was that this confession didn't come from an official HYBE release or a management statement, but was slipped into a gesture and phrase Jimin made, caught on a fan's camera at the airport. A brief snippet that has now become a global sensation. The commotion began a few hours after Jungkook's discreet departure for the United States from Incheon Airport. Initially, there was no clarity about the idol's purpose. However, not long after the departure, Jimin was seen at the airport with a worried and hurried expression, refusing to answer reporters' questions, but still sparing a glance at the camera. In that moment, a fan managed to record a brief statement that has now become the center of worldwide attention. "He's going there for Calvin. You'll see it yourself." A very simple sentence, but enough to change the entire perception of Jungkook's sudden departure. It should be noted that Jungkook has indeed been the global ambassador for Calvin Klein since 2023. However, his involvement in international fashion shows has always been shrouded in high secrecy, given the value of the contract and the exclusivity that accompanies such collaborations. The fact that Jimin mentioned the name Calvin in the context of Jungkook's departure sparked strong speculation that the singer known as the Golden Magne was part of a major agenda in the global fashion industry. Industry analysts moved quickly. In a quick report published by the prominent fashion magazine Vogue Korea, a source close to Calvin Klein's production team stated that there would indeed be a major star from South Korea scheduled to appear in their exclusive summer fashion show in Los Angeles. Although no names were mentioned, the hints were immediately linked to Jungkook. Given Jimin's now viral statement, many believe the singer is indeed part of the elite showcase attended only by global fashion icons. Jungkook's presence at the Calvin Klein fashion show, if confirmed, isn't merely about appearing on the runway. It represents a manifestation of the shifting paradigm that K-pop idols have now transcended the boundaries of music and entertainment, becoming an integral part of global culture. Jungkook, long known for his boyish yet elegant image, possesses a unique charm that aligns perfectly with Calvin Klein's philosophy: modern, minimalist, yet bold. Since becoming the brand's main face, Calvin's product sales have surged dramatically in East Asia and North America, showing his extraordinary commercial and cultural power. But the question remains, why did this information come from Jimin, not the management or official media channels? In the highly structured and protocol-heavy world of K-pop, any information regarding an artist's activities usually undergoes strict filtering. Jimin's seemingly accidental disclosure about Jungkook's whereabouts only reinforces the suspicion that there's an ongoing dynamic behind the scenes, whether between the artists and management or even among BTS members themselves. Some observers believe this is part of HYBE's indirect strategy to create a global buzz ahead of a major event. By allowing the information to leak through a personal channel, they stimulate public curiosity and emotion more organically. On the other hand, others see Jimin's action as a display of emotional closeness and personal support for Jungkook, a signal that their friendship remains strong even amid increasingly complex work dynamics. ARMY's reaction to Jimin's statement has been mixed. Most fans feel proud and excited, considering Jungkook's involvement in a world-class fashion show like Calvin Klein will strengthen BTS's position as global icons. On social media, hashtags like #Jungkook's Calvin Klein and #Jimin Spoiler King quickly skyrocketed to trending topics. Many believe that this leak actually increases the event's expectations and builds even greater anticipation than before. However, not a few fans lamented how the information was delivered. Some believe such an important secret should have been announced more professionally. Others questioned whether Jimin's action was approved by the agency or done spontaneously out of personal desire. Nevertheless, there is no indication that HYBE will take corrective steps regarding Jimin's statement, given its ultimately positive impact on the exposure of Jungkook's project. Meanwhile, Western media have begun to highlight the possibility of collaborations between Jungkook and other global fashion houses through the Calvin Klein stage. Some rumors suggest there will be a surprise performance where Jungkook not only appears as a model but also delivers an exclusive musical performance in a never-before-seen format. If true, this will mark a revolutionary moment in fashion and entertainment, where a K-pop idol not only represents a brand but also performs across disciplines on a single stage. As of now, Calvin Klein has not issued an official statement regarding Jungkook's presence at their fashion show. However, this situation only adds an element of surprise and anticipation characteristic of top-tier fashion events. ARMY is already strategizing to monitor the location and timing of the event, which is expected to be held privately but streamed exclusively on digital platforms in the coming days. If the information proves accurate, Jungkook's involvement will mark a monumental achievement for the K-pop industry as a whole. It's not just about appearing on a runway, but also signifies that Korean artists now directly influence trends and directions in the global industry, whether in fashion or pop culture in general. Interestingly, Jimin's attitude in delivering the information reflects the colorful personal relationships among BTS members. Behind the global success and strict management rules, there seems to remain room for human moments, a spontaneous statement, a brief sentence at the airport, that ultimately capture the world's attention. The remaining question now is this just the beginning of a series of Jungkook's major steps in fashion? Will Jimin also join this grand collaboration? And most fundamentally, was that brief airport statement truly intentional as part of a strategy, or simply a sincere reaction from a proud friend? Whatever the answer may be, one thing is now certain. The world is waiting for Jungkook's appearance on this year's biggest fashion stage, and all eyes, from Seoul to New York, won't be leaving their screens. Although it initially shook social media and triggered a chain reaction from various parties, including international media, recent clarification from several official sources refutes all speculation regarding Jungkook's involvement in the Calvin Klein fashion show in the United States. The information that originally came from Jimin's brief statement at the airport has now been confirmed as a public misinterpretation of a spontaneous remark that was not intended as an official announcement, according to representatives from HYBE labels in a statement delivered to several local South Korean media outlets. Jungkook's departure to America was not related to any modeling activity or fashion show, but rather for a closed-door meeting with several international producers and music label executives. This is part of an ongoing effort to develop his solo music project, which is currently in an advanced stage of production. The agency also emphasized that there is no official collaboration involving Jungkook's appearance on the Calvin Klein runway for any upcoming events. Furthermore, Calvin Klein itself provided a brief confirmation through fashion media channels that they do not have any public event involving Jungkook as a model for this season's fashion show. They continue to honor their long-term partnership with the idol as a global brand ambassador, but decline to give further details on future projects. Therefore, the rumor circulating among ARMY and online media appears to be the result of a premature conclusion that stemmed from Jimin's incomplete statement, distorted by the emotional context surrounding Jungkook's sudden departure. What was initially perceived as a leak turned out to be a spontaneous moment that was misinterpreted by the public. Media communication expert from Seoul National University, Professor Kim Yeonwoo, mentioned that this phenomenon is a classic example of the virality effect in the digital age. Brief statements from public figures, especially mega idols like Jimin, can be quickly taken out of context and perceived as valid information, particularly when there's an absence of official information from agencies or media, he explained.